Warning, we are about to spoil the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. If you haven't seen the film and plan on watching it, leave now and come back later. But if you have seen the movie, or you just don't care, then please stick around. With how bad this movie is, I guess it's the real Fury Road.
Yeah.
Fuck!
That should be good. Okay. Do you want to do it?
It's like no effort.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. I hope you're doing well on this night, because me and Justin are a little bitter towards this film that we just watched.
Here we were, looking at the sellout wheel, thinking, it will be years before we get to the bad movies. But Mad Max was here to prove us wrong.
Today's episode, as you can gather from the title, is Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Yes, we were.
Hey, we went quiet. Funny joke.
So funny. We're laughing right now.
Fucking game. Okay.
So this movie is the third movie in the Mad Max series, and it's by far the most divisive one because people either really like it or really hate it. And we didn't know which...
People are wrong or they're right.
Yeah. And we didn't know which camp we would fall under when we watched this movie. You can probably guess by the tone of our voices, yeah, we didn't like it. In fact, it was pretty fucking awful, I think.
Like, okay, so this is the only Mad Max movie neither of us had seen.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I enjoy bad action movies. They're basically my comfort food. If I am bored but I don't really want to focus on anything, I will go on Amazon Prime, look up something with the dumbest fucking title I can find, and at least under 100 minutes, just sit through that and have a good time.
Same. I love stupid, corny action movies. Just they're fun. They're great. This was not fun. This was just stupid and bad.
This wasn't this. Okay, you know what? Should I do the synopsis and then we'll get to everything?
Yeah, do the synopsis because I don't think it's going to take too terribly long.
It's not, because I'm going to try not to add commentary to this synopsis.
Yeah, we'll just say what happens, and then afterwards will be the fun part for you guys, not for us. We're going to be very bitter.
No, actually, it will be fun for me, because I've been mad since we watched it a night ago.
Yeah, it'll be kind of cathartic. Because like we said, here on Cinema Roulette, we don't go out purposely seeking bad movies, just because that, A, it's been done to death online, and B, it's just not fun. So it'll happen to us. It's bound to happen to us every once in a while, but yeah. So I'll let Justin take it away.
Also, this is at least fun bad where we're able to feel something instead of something like Onibaba where we're just dead inside.
Or just nothing. It's just like yeah. It's like you want to feel something when you go to movies. That's the whole point of seeing a movie, whether it be being scared, being thrilled, being emotionally torn apart. But yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Scary Godmother 3 hits hard.
Oh, dude. And that hasn't even been released to the public yet.
It's only for me, the true Scary Godmother
Being
fan.
the huge fans we are, we got a pre-screening.
Perks of a podcast. Okay, so we open with Max driving a cart. It's driven by camels and has a monkey in the back. Cart is stolen by bandits with a plane. Where'd they get a plane? I don't know. They found it. It works. But Max walks in the desert for a bit, heads to town. It's called Barter Town. And he realizes the man is there. He's like, okay, I'll do whatever the fuck you need if you let me do whatever I want to him.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, fine. After he proves that he's a good shot by turning around, shooting his shotgun. That's the last we're going to see of that shotgun. Or much shooting in this movie, honestly.
Actually, you're right. He doesn't really fire many weapons in the rest of the film, does he?
Did I mention this is a PG-13 Mad Max movie?
And that was the first misstep.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But Max goes and sees is it Tina Turner?
Yeah, it's Tina Turner, who's the queen of
Bartertown.
Bartertown. I was trying to remember the name that we just said.
And Tina Turner is like, "Ah, so you want to work for me? That's pretty neat. Hey, want some fruit?" And then they try to kill him, but Max is cool and is able to 60s Batman fight his way out of the situation.
Fuck yeah. And she's like, "Wow, you're the first person to survive the test."
Welcome, I guess. Okay, there's a dude named Master and Blaster. Master is a short person who rides on Blaster, who's like this 7-foot fucking just mountain of a man.
Like, that's I'm just saying right now, that's such a video game bossy type design. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And fucking she's like, okay, if you can kill Blaster, that'd be really cool, because with him, Master Blaster basically runs the town, since he's the only one who knows how to turn pig shit into electricity.
Yeah, basically they use methane from shit to run things. So, and every time...
it's clear that the apocalypse has been going on for a while at this point, and that people are getting somewhat back to civilization.
Yeah, because every time like they have a disagreement, he has a quote-unquote embargo and just shuts the power off.
Yeah.
Until they come to an agreement.
The agreement being do whatever he said.
Yep.
But Max spies on Master Blaster for a bit, realizes his car is down there. This is literally not important. I said I was going to try to have commentary, but this never comes up again.
Yeah, like we're mentioning this because this is the plot. It never pops up.
Yeah, the only reason it pops up is because there was a bomb on the car, even though I'm pretty sure the car was destroyed in the second movie.
Yeah, exactly. So how he was, I don't know, inconsistency.
Whatever. That's not the biggest problem in this fucking movie.
I wish that was the biggest problem with this movie.
Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, but Max challenges Master Blaster, Blaster, into the Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leave. Just like how this movie, 2 brain cells enter, 1 brain cell leaves.
Oh, sorry, you mean Thunderdome.
Thunderdome. But, okay, Blaster has like this Resident Evil ass helmet on. Max finally, he learned that a high-pitched noise basically confuses Blaster. He blows a dog whistle, confuses Blaster, knocks the helmet off, but then realizes he's trying to think of the proper way to say this.
Handicapped?
Yeah.
Like he like they say in the movie, and the quote is, he has the brain of a child.
Yes. Which we'll get to this scene. And Max stops himself from killing him, but then the crowd watching kills him anyway. But since Max didn't kill him, he broke the deal, which is breaking the law, so they spin a cartoonish wheel of punishment.
Yeah.
And he gets gulag, which gulag is apparently putting you on the back of a horse, forcing it to ride into the desert until the horse dies of exhaustion, then leaves you there handcuffed to die in the desert as well. And Max does die, sort of. There's a difference between mostly dead and dead.
Exactly.
Oh man, I watched Princess Bride this week as well. That was such a nice movie to watch again.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it sometime.
Got the Criterion on the case, is so cool.
Fuck yeah.
It's honestly become quickly one of my favorite cases that I own.
Hell yeah. It's just really well
so
done.
much detail, and it was so unexpected to feel like an actual kid's storybook. It's just so neat. Anyway. Completely off topic. But yeah, Max dies, and then all of a sudden A woman finds him, drags him back to some pit. This pit has trees, it has it has green plants, it has fresh water. It is pretty much self-sustained, full of a bunch of tribals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all white, but they act in a quote-unquote tribal sense.
Yeah, because they don't know about technology or any of that. And we'll get to that, too.
Oh my god, I'm gonna talk about that. Anyway, they think Max is some legendary Captain Walker who was destined to fly them to what they don't know what cities are. They just know it's kind of a quote unquote promised land, and they want Max to fly them there.
Yeah.
Max obviously goes, everything's been fucking destroyed. There was nuclear war. And he's like, we're just gonna stay here in this paradise with fresh water, food, and beds where no one knows where you are. And then a group of them's like, no, I want the promised land.
And then the other half, the sensible half, is like, no, that's stupid. There's nothing out there.
That's dumb. Let's not do that. But then, because Max does stop them, but goes to bed, and they leave in the middle of the night because, everyone's asleep.
Yeah, like he and I must add, too, because it's such a jarring moment. He stops the one woman by just decking her in the face and knocking her out.
Just because the woman that saved him is the main one leading the group that wants to go to the promised land.
Yeah.
And he first shoots at her, but then just walks up as she keeps trying to leave and punches her in the face and is like, bring her back.
Yeah, punches her in the face, like puts her over his shoulder, and they just like, okay, go get the others. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
What the fuck? They also show him a big plane that crashed into the desert. This never comes up again. But then after the woman leaves, they go to find the group just to make sure her and all the people that followed are safe. They almost die in quicksand because, of course, there's quicksand, even though that would need water below. Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, and he says the desert will swallow you up, and he wasn't kidding. That was literally, it will swallow you up because of quicksand. Haha,
puns. And then they're near Bartertown, and then they go to raid Bartertown, and also, Tina Turner has been torturing Master, basically forcing him to work and then keep him in pig pens, threatening to have him eaten by pigs. But also Max made a friend down because that whole area, the people who work there are basically prisoners and slaves because they committed some sort of crime.
Yeah.
He made a friend down there. They fight a bunch of guards, and there's for some reason a train in the middle of the place that's powering everything.
Yeah.
And they steal the train, and they're on the tracks. Car chase ensues. What the fuck happened? Oh, also, they commandeer the plane of the pilot that stole Max's wagon in the beginning. He's like, you're going to fly them to where they need to go. And Max distracts Tina Turner. They fly away. Bartown is basically ruined because the power plant is just destroyed. And Tina looks at Max as he's lying there in the road and goes, good one, Raggedy Man, and then drives back.
Doesn't kill him for some reason, even though, he destroyed the whole
He
town.
ruined their civilization.
She decides, nah.
We see the tribal people find Sydney, Australia, which is still basically standing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the windows are blown out and stuff, but there's still buildings. And we jump into the future a bit. The woman is telling the legend of Max, and we see lights throughout the cities, signifying that people have started living there and making things go back to normal a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
So before we tear this movie a new one, a little interesting tidbit that I found out while you were doing the synopsis is the guy who played Master This was one of his final roles. I think he was 77 at the time of filming, and you can tell he was kind of older because of white hair and that. Um, but he's very well known for playing one of the dwarf people in the controversial 1932 film Freaks, if you're familiar with that one.
Oh, I actually do know that one.
He was one of the dwarfs in that movie. So,
Huh.
yeah. Just a fun fact. Okay, now, this fucking movie. Oh my god.
Okay, where the fuck do we start?
Well, I'm going to say the first act of the movie, the first 20 to 30 minutes or so, are fine. They're not good. They feel something feels off, but it's fine. It's not terrible. It still kind of feels like Mad Max, even though it has more of a comedic edge to it. The turning point for this movie is when he's fighting Blaster, and it's a cool fight and everything, but then he decides not to kill him, and that's kind of the start of this movie's really fast downhill fall.
And we're not saying the reason Blaster deserves to die, or like you shouldn't show sympathy or something like that. No, this is Mad Max.
Yeah,
and Max in all the other movies, anyone who's tried to kill him is dead. There is no going back on this.
We're not advocating, killing mentally handicapped people, but I'm just saying, knowing Max's character, he's never cared about that before.
Max would have, and also with like later movies with how weird people get, how disfigured people get due to the nuclear fallout and all that. I don't know why he instantly goes, oh, this person didn't know what he was doing. No, he clearly knew how to fight.
Exactly. So, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Max just hesitates to kill him and then refuses to do it. And then he goes, this wasn't part of the deal. Even though it kind of was. I don't know.
The deal was kill him.
Yeah. They never said how he was or, And the whole thing, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense for Max's character, because that's never stopped him before. And like, he's constantly surrounded by people who have just gone insane. Like, they're not always mentally handicapped, but just people who have gone insane. The desert gangs and all that. But it didn't make any sense. And then they kill him anyway, and then
that's also the thing that bugs the shit out of me is they kill him anyway.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Like, I would have understood if they stuck to their guns and didn't kill him, but no, they kill him anyway. So what the fuck?
Or if you showed the people of the town also getting hesitant, like, whoa, okay, we might be cheering on a fucking death match, but this is a bit far. But no, the entire crowd's like, what the shit? Just kill him.
Yeah. And then that breaks their deal, I guess, because Max mentions the deal, and then Master's like, what deal? That's not fair.
Yeah, because, the smartest man in the town isn't going to figure out, oh, Max was put up to this so they could use me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sure he would have willingly just stopped having all the power over the town once Blaster was dead.
Yeah, right. Because, he kind of had to have Blaster as his, his muscle, because if he was gone, he's kind of just a little midget who can get tossed around by people. So.
Yeah, he's like 3 foot and he's 70.
Yeah, exactly. And then they punish him with the wheel, which was kind of funny, honestly, because they had a spin again section in it.
I do love the fact that wheel has a spin again section. That's so stupid, but going back to the beginning, I was getting into the idea that this was a more comedic. That was made clear, the Looney Tunes style fighting, the the lack of actual murder, like Max blows off someone's headdress basically to show that he's a good gunman.
Because it's like we mentioned this as we were watching the first part. We're like, this is not Mad Max. I'm still enjoying it. It's stupid as hell, but it's not Mad Max.
Yeah.
Little did we know. They spin the wheel, send him out in the desert to die. Oh, sorry, you had something else?
Yeah, I was going to say, also, the arena fight. They're on fucking bungee cables and they're bouncing around. It's stupid as hell, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah. At least they were having fun with it. And it was interesting. Bartertown was an interesting place populated with interesting characters. So let's not focus on that for
Let's
2/3
leave
of
that
the
for the
movie.
rest of the movie until the climax.
So yeah, after he gets rescued in the desert, the movie just kind of grinds to a halt. Like any momentum or pacing or fun that the movie has just kind of comes to a dead stop as we focus on this stupid group of people who I frankly just did not care about.
Yeah, you get no reason to care about these people other than they have a bunch of kids. Okay, are these kids interesting in any way?
Yeah, and there are multiple issues with that. Where do you want to start with the people? The fact that they don't know anything, or the fact that they don't want to leave?
Okay, I want to go with the don't know anything because
Alright.
I literally had to tell Cameron to pause the fucking movie because I realized a massive. Okay, plot holes are usually said by really annoying people in essays.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of become a dirty word almost with film discussion,
Yeah.
but there's just a logical fucking gap here.
Yeah, and so
It,
this just annoyed both of us, but I will let you go on about that because you have a lot to say there.
okay, so let's go with the story of Mad Max real quick. Max was around before the apocalypse. The first Mad Max is a pre-apocalyptic movie. So, logically, anyone who is an adult or has is at least in their 20s has been around long enough to know about the previous world. These fucking people don't know what planes were. They don't even know what turbulence was. They don't know what cities are.
Yeah, didn't they think
And
like
these aren't like
Turbulence was like a town or like a
they
something?
thought they were a group of raiders
Yeah,
or
they thought
something that
Turbulence was a
attacked the plane.
yeah.
They don't know what cities are. And these aren't like oh, this was a group of tribal people who lived on an island away from society and only just now are basically getting contact with anyone even
Mm-hmm.
after the apocalypse. And these people have guns but don't know their guns. They're using them like fucking clubs until Max grabs a bullet they have hanging up, loads it into the gun. So which also, now I'm thinking that implies they were able to clean the gun, but didn't realize
Yeah,
the bullet went into it. Okay,
they couldn't put two and
hold
two
on.
together.
No, they couldn't figure that out. They. And also, in Bartertown, we've seen people have been around in this apocalypse long enough to start forming cities again with electricity and setting up locations that people go to trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yet these fucking people, again, don't even remember cities existed. There's some magical land.
And I was thinking about it too, and I was like, going by the idea that the apocalypse started when they were like little kids might have made a little more sense. But even then, like at this point in time, because we're talking, this is in the future. Like this is like our society as of right now, but more in the future. Like you would think that like at that age they would at least have been educated to the point where they know things. Like you can claim ignorance, but like this is Australia. Clearly.
Yeah, we see Sydney. We
Yeah.
we see the Sydney Opera House and stuff. They're in Australia. This
But it's like,
oh,
they're not an aboriginal tribe clearly. They're very clearly, people who were civilized who just kind of just didn't know things. Like it just doesn't make any fucking sense, basically.
it's this big jump in logic that you're supposed to believe. Not only did these people just not get touched by anyone else
Yeah.
during the apocalypse, they somehow figured out how to survive, set up all this stuff without okay, go with the logic that even the oldest people here are maybe 20 and it's been over 20 years since the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
There still would have had to been some elder who lived through the apocalypse to raise them and tell them all this shit.
Exactly, because little babies can't raise themselves; they would have died. So there still would have had to be adults to teach them these things. Like, they wouldn't have been ignorant. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's something where, like, when you really think about it, it's like, wow, that's really fucking stupid.
It is. It's just, and you can see Max too, just getting annoyed with them. Like, you're fucking kidding me, right?
That I did get a lot of joy out of just seeing Max's confused ass face just the whole time. He's like, especially when he like first like comes out and he falls on the rope and then they're chasing him. He just has this look on the face of what the fuck is going on here. That was really funny to me. I'm like, yeah, same.
Oh yeah,
Max.
as the kids just repeat everything he says. Just...
And then like he sat down and as she was like giving the lesson, he just had this look on his face of what?
Where did all the kids come from?
I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. Like, you have these characters in this setting, but there's no reason at all for them to be there or be the way that they are. Like
how many adults do we see? We see like 4, right?
I think there's like 2 main ones at least, because there's the main leader girl and then there's the one guy. Who's more on Max's side. There's probably a couple other thrown in there, yeah.
But still, there's like 18 kids or something.
Where the fuck did these kids come from? Just such a stupid thing. And then on top of that, they don't want to leave this essential paradise.
No, they do want to
leave. Or they do. They want to leave essentially this paradise where you have running water, clean water, you have fire, you have food that you can hunt, you have all the food you need, nobody knows you're there, you can just live out the rest of your life there. But no, we want to go to Tomorrow land. Fucking
Tomorrow land. What a creative name.
I know.
You couldn't even make a joke on the name of Sydney.
yeah, that would have been clever, but
or I think the picture they have on the, because they have one of those child toys where you viewfinders where you look into it and you spin it, the pictures.
A Viewmaster?
A Viewmaster, yeah. Okay. Now, if you can believe that they're this ignorant of the world, they see a picture where the stereotype picture of cars passing by at night, so you know their headlights look like basically streams of light, and they're like the bridge of light. You don't understand that, okay?
Yeah, it's such a leap in logic that it just annoyed the piss out of both of us. Just why?
Yeah, there is just a note in here of what is even going on.
And here's the thing, that is in and of itself is very stupid. If the rest of the movie picked up after this, I would have been a little more warmed with, but it kind of doesn't. Because after this point, the movie is just kind of a confused mess. Like, stuff kind of just happens with no rhyme or reason, and things just stop making sense. Like, they already didn't make sense, but, like, then they go in the desert, and it just, again, the pacing comes to a complete halt, and then they go back to Bartertown, and they're still doing stuff, but it still doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, wow, there's getting in there.
No motivation to anything they do.
It's just it very much feels like it's just a by-the-numbers thing. Like, they're doing things that Mad Max should do, but there's no reason behind it. It just feels like, oh, this is the part where they go back. This is the car chase here.
What? Why did they attack? I still don't know why they fucking attacked Bartertown. I mean, I know why Max wanted to attack Bartertown.
Yeah, that made sense, but what did the rest of them hope to accomplish? Like, who knows where that train led? You don't know if that train leads to Sydney.
Also, why the fuck did you put not only a train in your power generator? Sure, okay, it has an engine, it helps cycle the power, whatever. Why have the track lead out of there?
Yeah! Like, why even have that option in case raiders try to steal it? Because, you know, it's a post-apocalyptic world where it's just everything has gone crazy. And, you know, what if someone comes into Bartertown, takes over, and then leaves with the train? Why not cut off the tracks or even not have the tracks there in the first place?
Yeah, no reason for that to be there.
No, there really isn't. And that's what we're saying. Like, just stuff just kind of happens. And the more you think about it, the more it A, doesn't make sense. And B, there's no motivation behind it.
However, it does allow us to use Archer quotes.
Oh, yeah, it does. You're on the
Put it in
train,
there.
but you're still, like, on the train.
On the train.
Oh, my God. And then the car chase happens, and it's probably the most underwhelming car chase in the entire Mad Max series.
Yeah, I think it's the PG-13 rain.
Yeah.
And okay, so hold on, we forgot to mention a character.
Mm,
I know I haven't named anyone. It's because honestly, they either don't say their names or I just didn't care.
yeah.
There's one henchman from Bartertown who has like a Japanese mask over his head.
Oh.
Like he doesn't wear the mask; it's on his back.
Yeah, just
basically
for creepy, I guess. I don't know.
Because it looks weird, and you need weird-looking characters for Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him. He goes in front of the train. He gets stuck on the tracks. His car's hit. It explodes. He's still alive, Looney Tunes style, stuck to the front of the train.
With, black soot because explosion.
Yeah, because again, Looney Tunes. Then he climbs up, but they knock him off, and he does actually a kind of impressive stunt where he's like hanging off the side of the train, and he's having to jump over little bars off the side of the track.
Yeah, he has to move his body up in order to avoid getting hit, and it looks very it looks very dangerous, and it probably was, frankly, and that was actually done clearly. So
yeah. So that was kind of neat. I'll give it that. But
yeah.
then they saw off the bar he's hanging on, and he falls off a bridge. And then he comes back.
He's still alive because PG-13. Even though, we murdered a child earlier in quicksand. Just drowned in quicksand. He's dead. But no, we can't kill a full-grown man who's the villain.
Who's one of the main villains. And how does he die? It's in the final car. Yeah, because Max drives a truck back so that way the plane everyone escapes on has enough runway, and he crashes right into Mask Face Guy, and that finally kills him.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a pretty cool crash. I will give it that.
Yeah, I do really like that crash as well. Like, the stunt work is still impressive, but it's just the problem is there's no substance to it.
Well, it's not attached to anything worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're supposed to feel good that these people got to go live in the city while Max is now forced to walk the desert again.
Mm-hmm. It's just... That's the thing, the movie, and I think that's the problem, is the movie's really shoving these characters down your throat, like you're really supposed to feel for them, has dramatic music whenever something happens, and you just don't care. And I think that's the biggest problem with these characters is you don't care for them because of, it's shown because of their character development and stuff like that. It's just, you're just supposed to feel for these people.
Yeah. And again, they're also idiots.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that they don't remember the old world, fine. I'll let that slide mentally. But still being like, I want to go out into the unknown, even though I'm living in literally the safest place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel so bad for you when you almost die in quicksand after everyone told you it would be dangerous and you'd probably die out there.
So here's the thing about the henchman, and I just found this out because I thought he looked familiar. The guy who played the henchman with the weird Japanese mask, he's the lead singer of a band called Rose Tattoo.
Really?
And his name in the movie and his actual name are kind of awesome because they never say it, but his name in the movie is Iron Bar Bassi.
That's a good fucking name.
And his real name is Angry Anderson.
Okay, that's cool as hell.
Right?
Not gonna lie.
And that's the thing that kills me. You have some cool names in here. You know, you have Master Blaster, you have Iron Barbassi, you have Dr. Dealgood. I mean, but they never say it. Screw Loose, Scroo Loose. Blackfinger.
There's a really obvious way to save this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay in fucking Bartertown.
Yes! If they had focused on that and just Max trying to survive in Bartertown, that would have been interesting. But no, the movie forces us to stay with this group of idiots who we really don't care about and who just constantly make bad decisions. It just... because that stuff was interesting. Tina Turner was really interesting. Like, come on.
Here's the movie. Here's the easy setup. After Max goes through with the cage match.
Yeah.
Power dynamic shifts. However, Max starts to realize Max still gets fucked over. Or maybe he doesn't even he doesn't do the thing and then he's going through being a prisoner in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Max realizes Tina Turner's character is also equally evil, if not worse than Master Blaster. So he has to start up a counter-revolution to save the town.
Yeah.
Easy setup of a movie. Would be fun. And we got to spend more time in Bartertown, see how that works.
Yep.
I do like the weird rule system, sort of.
Yeah, and it's kind of clever how all of the laws are catchy phrases.
Yeah.
Like, if we did that in real life, everyone would be a law scholar, just saying.
But no, we leave there, and then basically it feels like a completely different movie starts up.
Yeah.
Then we get back to the first movie that started up, and we just do that, clash it with the second one, and then we end.
So we were just wondering why this film turned out so bad, and I looked up some behind the scenes stuff. And in the ending credits, it says for Byron. And I was like, okay, what was that about? And it turns out that it was the first Mad Max film made without producer Byron Kennedy, who was killed in a helicopter crash in 1983 while location scouting for the film. And according to Wikipedia, it says, while the film was in development before Kennedy's death, director George Miller was hesitant to continue without his producing partner. I was reluctant to go ahead, said Miller. And then there was this sort of need to. Let's do something just to get over the shock and grief of all that. And it says Miller ended up co-directing the film with George Oakville, with whom he'd worked on the 83 miniseries Dismissal. I had a lot on my plate, said Miller. I asked my friend George, who was working on the miniseries, could you come and help me? But I don't remember the experience because I was doing it just, I was grieving. And so it turns out that Miller was just horribly depressed, obviously, and sad from his friend's death, and was doing this just kind of to take his mind off things, which makes a lot of sense considering how the film turned out, which is why it feels kind of like it's just going through the motions.
Well, not only that, it also explains the more comedic edge and also the ending of the movie, which is this sort of fisted message about how life will turn out better eventually.
Yeah.
How the future is always bright.
It has a very optimistic ending, and that explains why he had those themes in there, because, he was just had to do something to uplift, his very bad feelings. So that makes a lot more sense. Like, it's not an excuse for how bad the film turned out, but it makes sense the way it turned out. So we don't know if, like, the studio mandated that he continue with the film, or like he was like contractually obligated, just kind of had to and decide, okay, I gotta do this just to do it. So yeah, I feel genuinely bad for George Miller. He is not to blame in this scenario.
Yeah, I bet you feel like a dick.
It's one of those weird things where you just feel a bit bad for it being bad.
I felt bad because it said for Byron, and I'm like, I am sorry, Byron, that this, out of all the films to be dedicated to, this is the one.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Damn it, my brain immediately goes to Last Airbender, where it just goes, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah. Oh boy, but yeah, so that was Beyond Thunderdome. definitely the worst entry in the series. The first one is actually not the worst, which we thought it would be, but no.
Yeah, sorry, Mad Max 1. I underestimated you.
At the very least, even though it's kind of a slower burn, at the very least it's entertaining, has a coherent plot, and is, well paced for the most part.
For what it was what was given.
For the ridiculously low budget it had. So, yeah. Beyond Thunderdome, not good. Did not like.
Yeah, it's the worst of the series.
Yeah, we can totally see where the hate comes from. Totally.
I can't see where the light comes from, though.
I can't either. I just cannot understand people like so. It's like, if you get enjoyment out of it, great. I'm not going to knock it. I just not like it.
I know some people say it's like quotable, but that's the first third. Everything else is just
pretty much. So right. I think that's it, huh?
That's probably it.
I think it's time then.
Time to do the thing that the show's based around, even though we haven't done 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. And remember, we are doing the sellout wheel for 8 spins instead of the usual 4, just to try and chip away at it a bit faster.
Uh-huh.
And then we will get on to the director's wheel. If you don't know about director's wheel, we talked about it in episode 99, and we even say all the movies on there. So go check that out if you haven't yet.
Yep. And this will be the second time we've spun this wheel?
Because we spun after Desperado, so that's movie 1. Mad Max is movie 2. So this is third, 3 out of 8.
Okay. All right. Are we good?
And actually, wait, let me make sure. And let us spin. Okay.
What we get?
We're finally getting something off the wheel.
Ooh.
Which, take this with a grain of fucking salt. We're going to finish the El Mariachi trilogy.
Okay, interesting. And people say that Once Upon a Time in Mexico is the worst of the bunch, but we don't know. We haven't seen it. So.
I've seen a bit of it.
Okay.
I remember being bored.
Oh man. So, all right, we're finished. It's the first side. Finishing up the first. Okay. All right.
We're getting down to 18 options instead of 19, but yeah, we will finish the El Mariachi series. Next is The Cape?
Yep.
Yes. I don't know if we're doing a part 1, part 2 with that, or if it's going to be the entire series.
It's probably just going to be all one. We'll see how plot heavy it is. So, it's only 12, 13 episodes, so I think we can do it in one go.
But Hannibal seasons were also 12, 13 episodes.
Also true. So we will see you guys then.